Checking the audio. I saw that. She's turned her veins against me. Saw that. Why are we still getting music playing? Well, hello and welcome into this Tuesday's Entertainment News. I am John C. Walsh, here to discuss the latest happenings in the world of Hollywood. Hand is opened. I don't know why. I'm sitting like this with the hand opened as I speak, as I do the intro for the show. I'm here to discuss the latest happenings in Hollywood tonight. It's usually an entertainment show. Usually we do discuss music. Sometimes we discuss video games. But once again, I have checked the video game news. I have checked the music news. And all we have is one Liam Gallagher calling Coachella, I think, a pathetic festival. That's the music news. That's it. Video game news. Game Pass gets 6 new games. They're still speaking about this Microsoft takeover of Ubisoft, and Sony doing their absolute best to block it. That's the news there, and I don't want to speak about it. So I'm speaking about movie news, and I'm speaking about Star Wars. If you've clicked on the headline, you will know that one Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm, has been out discussing Star Wars and a couple of projects. By all accounts, Kevin Feige's name has popped up, and she says that Kevin Feige's Star Wars project never existed at all. It was all a figment of our imagination. We all had a strange fever dream back in September 2019 when it was announced by Alan Horn, then COO I believe of Disney, that Kevin Feige, producer extraordinaire over at Marvel, was going to be working in collaboration with Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm, to make his very own Star Wars movie. I remember discussing this with Stephen at the time. Him coming out and saying he's been a fan of Star Wars. He was looking forward to doing a Star Wars movie. Apparently never ever existed. And that is why I have put on the thumbnail, or is Lucasfilm gaslighting? Not gaslighting, I've been watching too much Casper Site ghost videos. Gaslighting the Star Wars fandom. It's 4 AM here in Sri Lanka. It's currently 4 AM. Yeah, it's always struck me as being strange that India and that sort of time zone, Sri Lanka, are 5.5, I believe, hours ahead. 4.5 hours ahead in this case. That half hour, I always found that to be strange, why they tag an extra half hour on, instead of it just being a sort of straightforward 4 hour time difference, 5 hour time difference. There's a half hour. It's currently 11:36 here. This is a very late show. It always is a late show. Stream, whatever you want to call it, when I'm doing it on a Tuesday. I like to leave things as late as possible. It's been a very eventful day though. I've been out working hard. I was a witness to a deer being murdered in a hit and run car accident. And I had to walk my dog, and now I'm doing a show. And I've not skipped a beat. And I'm here discussing Kevin Feige. I hope it's better in Sri Lanka than it is here, my man. Incidentally, I think my great-great-grandmother was from Sri Lanka, stroke Tamil Nadu, so I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to Sri Lanka shortly. I want to have a look into my family history, find out all about this woman, see if I've got any relatives in Sri Lanka or that region. I certainly like the Sri Lankan kotus, I believe they're called, where you have parathas and layers of meat, curries. It was fucking, I made it once, tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I just love the food, I love it. But let I digress, I'm getting sidetracked, man. Kevin Feige, the project never actually existed. The film has been rumoured to be in pre-production since 2019. Well, I mean, we've discussed this, we've discussed the multitude of failures at Lucasfilm, of Kathleen Kennedy's presidency at Lucasfilm, of all the movies being announced and then seemingly not happening. Production purgatory, shelving, just disappearing into the sort of void, never to be heard or seen of again. I think the last time I spoke about this, I tallied up to 11 or 12 projects that had been announced by the studio, not to see the light of day ever again. This was one of them that we assumed was shelved, but it turns out Kathleen Kennedy was speaking to Total Film. She confirmed that the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie is indeed, I think, still happening. I think she says it's been shelved, but it's potentially going to be happening. I've read that somewhere, maybe not. That's not what I care about. I care about Kevin Feige. And this is what she had to say about Kevin's film, his project. Kevin Feige's project was something announced in the press, or I suppose fandom. Well, you suppose wrong, Kathleen, and I'm going to bring up precisely where it was announced. But there was nothing ever get developed. We never discussed an idea. As everybody knows, Kevin's a huge Star Wars fan. If he did come up with something, I would be all ears. But that's never really happened. So it's not an abandoned project, it just didn't happen. Now maybe I'm reading this wrong. Maybe when she says it just didn't happen, she means the project just never took off. They were going to work together, but it just never happened. They never had time to sit in a room, brainstorm, storyboard, come up with a coherent script and get it off of the pre-production stage. Maybe that's what she means when she says it wasn't abandoned, it just didn't happen. It never came to fruition. But there was plans at some point to make it happen. But the way I'm reading it here, the way she is wording the initial quote, I suppose fandom, it was announced in the press, nothing ever get developed, there was nothing. Well, it wasn't supposed fandom, it was actually, and I've got a deadline article from all the way back in September 25th, 2019, 7:23pm to be precise, by Bruce Haring, via the scoop from The Hollywood Reporter, two of the most prestigious publications in Hollywood when it comes to film. Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter, they know their shit. They've got close contacts in Hollywood, in the industry, and when they give you a scoop, they announce something's going to be happening, you could just bet your fucking life on it. There is something black and white happening behind the scenes. And this was from Disney co-chairman, CCO Alan Horn, the renowned Alan Horn, man right at the very, very top of Disney at that point, working in cahoots with Bob Iger. He said this in a development statement at the time. As you can see here, discussed the idea in late summer, meeting with Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy, studio co-chairman Alan Horn and Alan Bergman. This is what Alan Horn had to say. It's not presumably the fandom, and it's not the press. It's the fucking studio's co-chairman, CCO, who announced this. We are excited about projects Kathy and the Lucasfilm team are working on, not only in terms of Star Wars, but also Indiana Jones, and reaching into other parts of the company, including Children of Blood and Bone with Emma Watson Fox. With the close of the Skywalker saga, Kathy is pursuing a new era in Star Wars storytelling. And knowing what a die-hard fan Kevin is, it made sense for these two extraordinary producers to work on a Star Wars film together. So, we've got a bit of an issue here. You've got Kathleen Kennedy saying in this recent statement his project was something announced in the press, or I suppose fandom, but there was nothing ever get developed. And then you've got Alan Horn announcing 3.5 years ago, 3.5 years ago, the studio's chairman at the time, CCO, I think he's away now, Alan, he announced himself that Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige were co-producing, working on a movie, straight from his words, or his mouth I should say, verbatim his words. It wasn't the press, it wasn't the fandom that came up with this. So I get back to the question I've asked in the thumbnail. Is Lucasfilm beginning to gaslight the fandom over the clusterfuck that has been projects being announced and discarded like trash, a bin bag in the wind? I think the answer to that is yes, they are. Kathleen Kennedy is gaslighting the fandom at this stage. She's flat out making fucking shit up in the press. She's saying it never really happened, the press made it up, the fandom ran with it, it was all bollocks. We never announced any projects. Well, she didn't, but Alan Horn did. And it wasn't just the press, it was Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, because as a Star Wars fan, I don't really want to be seeing Star Wars movies at this point. I want them to take an even greater break than what they have done post Rise of Skywalker. I've been pretty coherent, I want to say consistent, in my assertion that the TV side of things on the streaming service is the best medium, the best platform for Star Wars storytelling to be explored. I don't want to see movies that come out, make some money, but are ultimately divisive and shit compared to the originals. I want them to take their time and work on something special, bring the aura back to the brand. So whether Kevin's doing a Star Wars movie or whether anyone else is doing a Star Wars movie, whether it was ever in development or not, is neither here nor there for me. Ultimately, I just want consistent messaging coming out of this studio about the fuck-ups, about the complete disarray that has been the last 3-4 years post Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker, I want to forget about that movie. In terms of projects being announced, directors being announced, producers being announced, and then nothing happening. It gets swept under the carpet. The lies, the deceitfulness coming out of the studio. What show is this? Can you sing a song? I can't sing a song, Friday. I certainly cannot, mate. I've tried singing. I'm not very good at it. Let's just say that. I have tried it in the confines of my own personal space. I've tried it around other people as well, and they will also confirm just how bad it is. I am one of the sort of fucking rejects on X Factor or something like that ends up on the finale show, and they take the piss out of them. They get them up on the stage and they all kind of do their terrible audition songs again, and they ham it up. That's what I'm like. Ed Sheeran, no chance. I don't mind Ed. A lot of people hate it. Not a huge fan of Ed. Ed's starting to rile people up now. He's that consistent with his output. He's making that many big hits. He's writing songs for other individuals, artists, that he's actually starting to rile people. He's ever present in the charts. I don't actually mind Ed. When Ed broke through, he's about the same age as me. I think he's a year or two younger. I quite liked him, and I maintain he's one of the most talented guys in the industry just now. He's a bit beige at times. His songs are a bit beige, but I don't mind him. I think he's very talented. Just a royalist loving fucker though, and that's a problem for me. But I don't mind Ed, but I'm not singing perfect, mate. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I think they're gaslighting. I think Kathleen Kennedy is taking the piss when she's releasing things like that, saying that it's just the fandom of the press that made an announcement up. It was never really happening. Maybe I'm, again, misrepresenting her words. Maybe she's meaning the project was going to happen, but they've not had time to sit down and make it happen. Ultimately, they're not at time now, and that's why it's not took off. It's not going to be a thing moving forward. There ain't going to be a Kevin Feige movie. Maybe that's what she means. Maybe she's not alluding to it never being a thing and people making it up and running with it, and then they're using it as a stick to hit her with. I don't know. You'd need to ask Kathleen Kennedy. But Kevin's got a job in his hands anyway, saving Marvel. They're in a sticky place just now, and I'm going to go into that just now. We'll skip that, we'll do that at the end. I'm going to get onto that just now. Marvel isn't replacing Jonathan Majors, and I says yet. And I've says yet because of course Jonathan is in a bit of a situation just now whereby he has been arrested for alleged domestic abuse allegations. An incident, I think it took place in New York about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. And we've not really spoke about this purely because we don't tend to discuss legal matters. We don't tend to discuss hearsay and potential cancellations. It's not something I've spoken about this in this show before. The whole cancel culture thing is not something I agree with. I think it's a bit of a shambles when humans can't make a mistake, unless it's like paedophilia or murder or racism, in which case feel free to cancel them. They're despicable bastards and they should never see the light of day ever again. Or it's sexual assault, something like that. But if it's something relatively human in its construct, a mistake, human beings make mistakes every day and they should be allowed to learn from it and grow into a better person. And cancelling them and shutting them out of society is not the way to go about teaching someone and having them grow back to be a better person and develop. This is why I'm not one for jumping on the whole Ezra Miller bandwagon and wanting him volleyed out of Hollywood, never to see the light of day again. I think he's a great actor, an amazing talent. He's been a bit wayward recently, to say the least. But if he can get over his mental health issues, seek counselling, and come back and be a better person for it, then I'm all for him coming back. That's why I've not discussed it though. That's why I've not discussed Jonathan Majors, but I'm going to discuss it now. Because, as you can see, there's been a lot of toing and froing. They're going to replace him. They're going to sack him. They're ready to move away from Jonathan Majors. Now it seems that is all fucking bollocks. They're not ready to move away from Jonathan Majors. They've not even discussed the potential for parting ways with Jonathan Majors. I subscribed anyway, hopefully you sing someday. Oh, I've sung on reactions, mate. Believe me, I have. If you go and watch some of our watch songs, I've done some singing, but it's not good, believe me. I certainly have done some singing. I can't remember the last one I did, but yeah, I sing a lot, even though I'm terrible. I do. You'll hear it. It's brief, and it's best that it's brief, because if it goes beyond a couple of seconds, then it starts to pain the eardrums, and that's when you have a real issue. But yeah, Marvel, as you can see, isn't having conversations about replacing Jonathan Majors following arrest. Now, this is the correct decision, because ultimately he has been arrested, but he's not been charged with anything. And I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in the Western sphere of things, it's innocent until proven guilty. The man hasn't been proven guilty, he hasn't been convicted in a court of law. Therefore, we don't do kangaroo courts. We don't hang, draw and quarter people for allegations. Certainly not when the man's legal team, his lawyer, has produced texts from his alleged victim girlfriend, where she's texting Jonathan Majors, saying it's all a big misunderstanding. She says to the police officers on the scene that it was all a big misunderstanding. She didn't want to press charges. She didn't want him being arrested. She's apparently as upset about this as perhaps Jonathan Majors is. So when you've got all of that in place, you've got alleged statements from other people, which I don't know have been produced or not. I'm not a fucking lawyer for Jonathan Majors. I'm not privy to the details. Then you shouldn't even be thinking, let alone having conversations about replacing the man. That happens once you've got concrete evidence of the domestic abuse, of actual violence being meted out, and then you take the necessary steps to perhaps replace him. He'd be a massive hole to fill though. How would you even go about replacing Jonathan Majors as this character? Already he's only been in 2 projects. I think he's filmed another, and you can't really imagine anyone else playing him at this point. He's such a huge presence, charismatic guy, and he's worked blood, sweat and tears for this role, and he's very passionate about the role. How do you even go about replacing a guy like that? Where do you even start? I don't even know. This is something I don't want to think about. I was horrified when I seen the news coming out, because I like this guy. I've seen this guy in interviews and stuff like that. He comes across as being genuine, but of course it could all be face value. We never do know the true character of any human being. We're sneaky, cunning bastards at times, deceitful fuckers. Thankfully, I don't think that's the case with Jonathan Majors. But as you can see, I think the meat and bones is here. It's from Deadline. New report indicates that his days of playing Kang variants in the MCU are not over. And a story about Jonathan Majors being dropped by his talent manager, Entertainment 360. That's fucking par for the course. We've seen this with Tiger Woods and stuff like that back in the day. Man was battling a horrendous back injury, problem, pain, couldn't sleep, had to crawl to the bathroom at night out of his bed. This is a man who's won 14 major titles, I think, in golf, Grand Slams, majors, that's the word. Huge, towering, amazing specimen of an athlete, having to crawl along the floor. Also was taking painkillers to manage the back pain. Crashes his car afterwards. This is the first time, not the second time he crashed his car. The man's been through hell. People were walking away from him. Sponsors were withdrawing their sponsorship of Tiger Woods. We see this time and again. These companies, these talent agencies, jumping ship at the first opportunity. And I think it's fucking pathetic. But I digress, we'll move on. The outlet states that Marvel Studios has had 0 conversations about replacing him in future MCU projects, Majors has already filmed his role for Loki Season 2, which was teased in Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania's post-credits. He will also return for the Kang Dynasty if Marvel Studios maintains its current stance. Ultimately I think this is a correct decision. It really is. You can see here's the text messages that the lawyer has shared, Jonathan Majors' lawyer has shared with TMZ. You can see there, I'm sorry you're in this position, we'll make sure nothing happens about this. Told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just get out of hospital, just call me when you're out. Look, man, only the woman involved in Jonathan Majors knows what really happened. And I don't want to be one of these people that jumps to assumptions and immediately wants to defend Jonathan Majors just because I like him, based off of his persona that he puts out to the world. I don't know Jonathan. I think he's a good guy, but I don't know him personally, so ultimately I can't jump to assumptions. It's easy to just say, look, he didn't do it. I love this guy, I want him to remain as Kang the Conqueror. That'd be the selfish thing. I wasn't there, I don't know. Ultimately, only this woman and Jonathan knows what really happened. But innocent until proven guilty is one of the sort of main constitutions, if that's the correct word, in law in the Western world. And I think across the world. There's maybe some places it's not the case. You cannot hang, draw and quarter a man, stone him, vilify him, turn him into a leper, cast him out from society, take money away from the man, take roles away from him, based on hearsay, based on allegations, based on a single arrest. How many times have people been arrested in the past, wrongfully, convicted, jailed for things they didn't do, and then they're vindicated 20, 15, 30 years later? You cannot jump on things like this, try and cancel, and make monumental decisions like removing them from multi-million, billion-dollar franchises. This is the correct decision that they're taking by taking a step back, letting it all play out, and then they will make their decision once it's all been aired. The dirty laundry, if you like. Hopefully clean laundry by the end of it. I'm proud of Disney for taking this stance, because Warner Brothers, on the other side of things, with Johnny Depp, took an opposite stance. They decided to cut ties with Johnny. Obviously Disney did as well with Pirates of the Caribbean, but I think they just used that as an excuse because they knew Pirates was dead as a franchise. Diminishing returns. How much further can you go with one character, a drunkard pirate? You can't really take it any further. It had reached its natural conclusion. They used that as an excuse to get out. I'm glad they're taking this decision. Take a step back, let calm heads prevail, let the man clear his fucking name, hopefully, and then we can get back to seeing this great actor doing great work as Kang the Conqueror. Moving on though to the final topic of the show, Superman Legacy. James Gunn, he has begun early production, or has entered early production. I couldn't get entered in to that graphic down there, so I put begun. Then yeah, I was actually going to headline the show with this, but I thought, can I speak about it long enough? And I came to the conclusion, probably not. It is fresh news, this headline, this article from MovieWeb, which I'm about to plagiarise the fuck out of, from Jonathan Fuchs, was published 7 hours ago, so it's fairly fresh news that he has entered early production with this movie. I'm super excited for this movie, man. I'm super excited for another Superman movie. It's been too fucking long. I think Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, I want to say 2016, I want to say, was the last Superman movie. And that wasn't even a Superman movie. That was an ensemble Batman Superman movie. You have to go all the way back to 2011. Something stupid like that. I think it's as far back as that for Man of Steel, which I fucking loved. Loved the tone of it. I love what Snyder did with the character. It wasn't this fluffy, airy version. As good as Christopher Reeve was as Superman Clark Kent, it was very fucking light and airy. This was a darker, more broody one. I really enjoyed it. Michael Shannon, I think, was in there. Pretty sure he was as Zorg. Is that what you call him? Zord? I don't know. Kevin Costner is the father. The Earth Father. Really enjoyed the movie. And it's mental. It's been over a decade since we are coming up to a decade, if I've got my years wrong, since we had a proper Superman movie. So I'm super excited to see what James brings with this film. And you can tell the passion just from this single little fucking tiny... I'm going to try and bring it up. Where has it disappeared to? That's Christopher Reeve. Not Reeves, as some people call him. Where is the photograph? There it is there. You can tell just with this tweet what he's going to bring to this. This guy's a momentous filmmaker. I've loved everything everything I've seen of James, I've enjoyed. I think he's a great writer. He knows how to impart blood, sweat and tears into a script. He knows how to give us a great human story with just enough comedic levity. Great usage of music. I don't think that would be the case with a Superman movie, but you know what I mean. He's a brilliant filmmaker in all facets of filmmaking, not just directing, but writing, helping produce. That's why he's now got the gig at Warner Brothers. This guy knows what he's fucking doing. I trust this guy with DC, and I certainly trust him with this Superman movie. As you can see here, he said this in the tweet: "I am honoured to be a part of the legacy. And what better day than Superman Anniversary Day to dive fully into early pre-production on Superman Legacy costumes, production design and more, now up and running." And as you can see, he's supplied a lovely little photograph. I'll get rid of that advert. That's the word I was looking for. 10% battery on my fucking watch. This is taking a piss, this watch. It's taking a piss. It's not even lasting a day now. It's fucking unacceptable. Apple, get your shit together. I digress. This looks like quite a thick... I mean, I don't know if he's just having his on. It's like the fake money and like a sort of crime drama where they try to buy off a gangster or someone, try to hoodwink somebody, and they've got real notes at the top and then it's just paper below. I don't know if he's having this fucking on here by putting this header on top and then there's nothing below. But it looks like he's got a living, breathing script in place. Clearly he must have gone into pre-production, for fuck's sake. Early pre-production though. I mean, it's early. This is years away, this movie yet, I believe. But it's exciting, man, to see we've got something palpable. I remember when Matt Reeves did this with the Batman. We were super excited then as well. I think he produced an image of Batman the Golden Years, the comic book. I think he may have dropped it on the 70th anniversary or something of the Batman comics being a thing. And I'm getting similar vibes here with Gunn's Superman movie. Really looking forward to DC getting their shit together, man. Really looking forward to seeing this new era, new dawn, new characters, new actors coming in. Hopefully competing with Marvel, toe to toe, producing great movies, great stories. Because DC fans deserve it, and fans of both establishments deserve it as well. Which is me, I love DC and Marvel. We deserve great stories. But yeah, I mean, look, also there's nothing been cast yet, but I'm going to bring up some actors who could potentially play the new Superman. This guy's not going to be playing Superman. There is no fucking chance in God's green earth. Taron Egerton is ever Superman his life. One thing, he's not got good enough hair. He's thinning at the front. He has got a jawline, but he's way too fucking short. Way too short. This man's under 5'9". Ain't no Superman under 5'9", man. He's 6'1", 6'2". Anything below that, forget about it. No chance. I suppose if you're 6 foot, you can maybe fling a lift in or something, prop them up, do some tricks with the cameras, but certainly not sub 5'9". That's not going to happen. He's a great actor. He's like a trifect actor. He can dance, sing and act, but he's not Superman, I'm afraid. I don't know anything about Diego Calva, but I tell you it would be ballsy to go with this relatively unknown actor as Superman. Just because I don't know anything about him though doesn't mean to say he isn't fucking some incredible up and coming actor who's done 3, 4, 5 great movies already and I've just missed him. I mean, that's a definite possibility. But it would be ballsy. I suppose you are going to go with an unknown actor though. When I think about it, I do suppose it would have to be a relative newcomer if you're wanting longevity with the character and you're not wanting a situation where you recognise the actor and think, oh, there's that guy, he's Superman now. You would have to go with guys like this. David Corensvet, up and coming things. This guy looks more like Superman though, in the sort of traditional sense. The hairline's strong, the jawline is there. You can just put the cape on this fucking guy and you know right away that's Superman. I mean, that is Superman. He just looks like fucking Henry Cavill. He looks like some generic video game character. That's Superman. Also Henry Golding, I mean, I'd love to see Henry doing a role like this, and it'd be sort of groundbreaking in the sense that you'd have an Asian American actor playing Superman. That would be something fucking truly special. But you know he's got the height, you know he's got the charisma, you know he's got the hair, he's got the jawline, and he's acted in big movies before, so I wouldn't be adverse to seeing the Bold Henry getting the call. Obviously he's going to get jilted for Bond, we know that. He has been linked with Bond. He's not going to get Bond. Why not give him Superman? I wouldn't be adverse to that. Chris motherfucking Pratt as Superman? No. Come on. He's too fucking old. It's Chris Pratt. It's Star-Lord. He can't play Superman. What are you doing? What is this website, incidentally, that I've happened on? Sports Skeeda. I don't know, man. I'm here, though, and I'm going to stick with it. Adam DeMarco. Strong history of TV appearances, and his recent lead role in The White Lotus tends to make him a strong contender. Really? Okay. I'll take your word for it. Fionn Whitehead. That's not fucking Superman, is it? His jawline's like mine. It's too weak. Ain't no motherfucker with a jawline like this getting the Superman role. You need to be David Coulthard levels of thick in the jaw department. This man will have to be chewing fucking granite for 2 years to build the jaw muscles up to give himself just a semblance of hope of playing Superman. Now, I don't know enough about Fionn outside of Dunkirk, but no, come on, he's no. Again, I don't know much about any of these actors. I don't know why I did this. Matt Bomer. Again, he's got the hairline, he's got the fucking jawline. Is he tall? I don't know. Maybe. Sam Claflin, that'd be a shout, but is he not Irish? That'd be weird having an Irish Superman. I think he's English, to be fair. That's slightly fucking semi-racist, what I've just said. He's Irish. Listen, I'm from Irish stock, I can say it. I've got a great grandfather from County Cork, from Cork itself, and a grandmother from Sligo. My mother's Irish. She's Irish citizenship. My grandfather had Irish citizenship. I am Irish. I can fucking say this. I can claim Irish citizenship right fucking now if I want to spend €200. I'm Irish, I can get away with it. It'd be fucking weird. He's not Irish, he's English. Again, Sam, I think he's what he's late 30s. He's not really got a great jawline. Again, it's kind of like my jawline. I couldn't play Superman. Sam's a lot taller than me, I think. I think he's a big boy. He's a great actor, and he has got charisma. I would say he's a little bit too old, and I'd say he's a little bit too well known. Jacob Elordi. Now, this fucking guy, I mean, look, these guys aren't even remotely going to be getting the gig. Let's be fucking honest here. I've got another article here, and this guy here, Wolfgang Novogratz, this is the guy they're all creaming about. They're all going on about this guy potentially playing Superman next. And you look, this guy's a fucking behemoth. He's 1.91 m. This guy's 6'3.5". He's a monster. Look at the hairline. Look at the jawline. He's fucking American. What more do you want, man? This guy is Superman. Let's be honest. Let's not beat about the fucking bush and go through 10 actors that have got no chance. This guy's your next Superman. If we're being real here, he's fucking on Twitter with the Clark Kent shirt thing going on in the disguise. He wants to play it. He's an Adonis. This guy's going to be fucking Superman. Hopefully. That's if we're not going down the Black Superman route, in which case he's not going to be Superman. But look, man, I'm really excited for it. Really excited to see where they go with this film, where James goes in terms of tone. Will it be back to the sort of fluffy? The subway is still the safest and most reliable means of transport in this city. Stop, don't do it. The people, is it going to be like that Superman, or is it going to be a little bit more gritty, a little bit darker? There's a lot of criticisms of Zack Snyder's Superman. If you'd like to make the screen brighter or darker. Thank you, Siri, for that interruption. You fuck. I don't know which way he's going to go, what the genre's going to be, what the vibe's going to be. Well, I know what the genre's going to be, but what the vibe's going to be in terms of tone. It'll all ultimately come down to the script, it'll come down to the casting. But I'm fucking here for it, I'm excited for it. Cannot wait to get more news on it. I am done though, I am done speaking. I was going to speak about John Wick. Chad Stahelski, dreaming of cameos. He wants to see Cillian Murphy in a John Wick movie. He wants to see Jet Li potentially. He wants to see Who was the other one? I mean, I had the article, but I've lost it. You want to see a lot of fucking people potentially popping up. Michelle Yeoh. She's in a Star Trek movie. I didn't discuss that because I knew I didn't have time for it. My dog's shaking his head, he's doing my fucking nutting. I did discuss these other topics though, and ultimately that's all that is really important for the here and now tonight. What is your thoughts on Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie never being a thing? It never existed, it was never happening apparently. Not my words, but the words of Kathleen Kennedy in an interview with Total Film. She says it was just the press and the fandom that announced this. They ran with it. It was all bullshit. Not my words. Again, me slightly paraphrasing the words of Kathleen Kennedy. I found an article from 2019 September when it was announced. The words of Alan Horn, CEO of Disney, Studios chairman of Disney at that point. I don't know if he's still there. Quite clearly saying that it was going to be a natural thing for huge Star Wars fan and producer extraordinaire Kevin Feige to work with Kathleen Kennedy on a movie. He fucking announced it. Big fucking executive guy at Disney announced it. Not us, not the press, but the press did. Hollywood Reporter, Deadline. What's your thoughts on it, man? Are they gaslighting the fandom? Is she taking the piss for her own mistakes, for her own mismanagement of film projects, of talent behind the cameras, in front of the cameras? Share your thoughts down below about that. I've been intrigued to see what your thoughts are. Share your thoughts about... I don't know what else to speak about. Marvel not parting ways with Jonathan Majors. Apparently no conversations have taken place in regards to Majors' future after he was arrested a few weeks back for allegedly having a bit of a fracas with his, I think, girlfriend, or at least a female confidant. I think that's the correct decision because he's not guilty of anything, innocent until proven guilty, and we should let law and due diligence apply to that situation before we make any decisions. Learn from Johnny Depp. Share your thoughts down below about that. Share your thoughts about Superman Legacy and pre-production, very early pre-production, but pre-production nonetheless. Do you want to see Wolfgang Novogratz playing Clark Kent Superman in this next movie? Who would you cast in the role? I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts. I want Wolfgang just because of that name. There's not enough Wolfgangs about now. We had Wolfgang Mozart, I think, back in the day. There's just... Was it Wolfgang Mozart? I think it was. I think that was his name. We've not got enough Wolfgangs about now, and we really do need to address that. And Novogratz has stepped up, and I think he deserves the role of Superman for that alone, for that cool name. Share your thoughts down below about that. Anything you feel compelled to share can go down below in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to get notifications straight to your eyeballs. Do the same thing over on Twitch. Follow button, notification button over there to see me doing the exact same thing over there. Sometimes Stephen comes in on a Monday. Sometimes I pop up at 11:30 or whenever the fuck I can be asked on a Tuesday. Every other day we do reactions and all manner of other things. We used to do tier list videos, but we've stopped doing it for some reason. Stick around if you want to see it anyway. All that's left to be said is thank you for watching, thanks for the comments, and until the next time I am done. Bye. I'm furiously going to search up Wolfgang Mozart and see if that was his name now. Bear with me, I'll be back. I'm pleased to say it was indeed Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. My mouse button was having a fucking stroke trying to select the sort of address bar at the top. I want to stress I'm much quicker typer than that. But yes, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Novogratz. Step up the plate, mate. You've got big fucking shoes to fill. Bye bye.